Why did I get married? Part two. Part two. So I did a video just giving the reasons why I chose to get married. Marriage is a thing that a lot of men have different perspectives about. You see a lot of different things throughout media that portray marriage a number of different ways. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of my story. So I did a little bit of that in part one, and I wanted to continue with a part two because it was more than just a few reasons. I mean, there were different reasons. So listen, here's one thing. A good woman is going to upgrade your life, man. Having a good woman is going to upgrade your life. Let me tell you, like, I remember my mom coming into one of my old apartments, and, it's not like I was just filthy or nothing like that, right? Like, I'm not one of those dudes just leaving stuff out everywhere, but I also wasn't like, pristine. Every corner of the place is going to be like smelling like pine sol either. You know what I mean? And I remember like my mom coming into one of my apartments, and she was just like, boy, like what is going on? Like I had socks on the floor, smelling like chips in there, you know what I mean? Not really smelling the freshest. Like, I tried to put the little plug in. I don't know if y'all probably remember the plug-ins, like you put the little plug in the outlet. It's supposed to make your room smell better. So I had like the little cheap plug-ins from the dollar store or whatever, but that wasn't really doing a whole lot. Some dishes in the sink, like it's just how I was living. It's just how I was living, okay? And to me, that was okay. But, when a woman comes into that environment, they have a different opinion, different perspective, right? So my mom thought I was living nasty. So, um, enter my now wife into the mix. And I remember when we started dating and then when we got married. And now, I look up in our first apartment that we had after we got married, you know, the loft is smelling nice. I mean, it's smelling like lemon and potpourri, and like the kitchen is clean. Like everything is just super clean. Cause like my wife is a germaphobe. Like she doesn't like when things are out of order, and she doesn't like when things aren't clean. And ironically, I've now become that way too. Like I don't like when things aren't clean. I do not like an unclean house. But the whole point of me saying all this is a good woman will do that. Like you may have some things about you that you don't even realize could be upgraded. I didn't realize I wasn't clean like that. Like I thought I was okay, but turns out there's some things that she was able to teach me about keeping a house clean, right? Um, the way that I eat, the fact that I don't drink sodas anymore. I don't really eat a lot of fried foods, a lot of fast food. Like my wife doesn't cook that kind of food, so I don't really eat like that, right? Um, 90% of what I drink is water. A lot of that, I have to thank her for that. So, sometimes with the whole marriage and getting with the right person, the person that you choose to spend your life with, 1,000% is one of the most important choices you will ever make in your life about anything. About anything. Like, as a Christian, I would say the most important is when you choose to follow God and accept Jesus into your heart. I would say that's number one. But right, kind of like right below that, I'm going to say who you choose to get in a relationship with, really. Because I think about who I was 15 years ago. I think about who I was 20 years ago. It was a totally different guy. Totally different guy. So I got married because I realized eventually that I had somebody that was going to make me better. They were going to help me become the better version of myself, the best version of myself. Another reason that I chose to get married and just being real. And I alluded to this a little bit in part one, but at a certain point, the whole running around and meeting new women and getting numbers and doing it like that lifestyle, it got old and it got tiring. It gets old. I'm sorry. Like after a certain point, and hey, no disrespect to, if you listen to this and you watch this and that's how you living right now, like, no disrespect. I'm not coming at you or nothing like that. Like, look, if there's anybody that understands, it's me. Like, I was there. I get it, right? But it began to feel really empty after a while because what happens is you have people that you're connecting with and y'all like each other, y'all vibing with each other. She's attracted to you, you're attracted to her, you feel validated as a man. She's probably, making you feel validated, making you feel like a man, like a king, right? But here's the thing, you don't spend every day with her. She doesn't see you at your worst. You haven't seen her at her worst, right? So you're thinking that everything is good, you're thinking that this is a beneficial relationship because you kind of got like one foot in, but you got one foot out. You don't really have to commit all the way, right? So if anything ever goes sideways, if she says something you don't like or something, goes the way you don't like, you can just be out. There's no commitment there, right? And the thing about that is that gets old. That gets old. Like I remember the feeling of when it started to get old to me. And so when you eventually meet that person where it's something greater than that, when you meet that person where you had a rough day and the first person you think to call to talk about it is this person, or you have some good news, like something happened in your life that's a milestone that you're really excited about, and there's this one person you want to tell about it, that's a sign. That's a sign. Like, who is that person? Do you have that person? And if you don't have that person, it's okay. But these are just some indicators and some things to be thinking about. Like, you want to have that feeling. To not have that feeling like you have that person to talk to is difficult. So, the other thing, and I think this is something that a lot of successful men know, is when you are married to the right person, you have someone to bounce ideas off of. See, a lot of times as men, we think we have to have all the answers. We think that we have to be the one that knows everything, right? That's just not the case. That's just not true. When you have a good woman, you have a helpmate. Like, my wife is quick to tell me if I have an idea, which I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that, I'd like to try to think I can do. And, I'll throw an idea out there and she'll just tell me like, nah, babe, that's not it. Now she says it with love, like she doesn't come at me like crazy or anything like that. She says it with love, but what you don't want is you don't want a woman that is not going to tell you the truth. You don't want someone that is literally just going to agree with whatever you say. But there are some guys that think they want that. I used to think that that's what I wanted because I felt like, well, if you don't like my idea, like why are you hating? Like why are you killing my dream, right? You may be listening, you may feel like that. You may feel like if a woman says something like that to you, that she's somehow trying to kill your dream, trying to stop your progress. But see, a real woman that cares about you, she doesn't want you to go through the failure. She doesn't want you to go through pursuing the wrong thing. So she's going to tell you the truth in love. So see, when you find that person, that's a person worth fighting for. That's a person worth being with. Like when I have an idea now, the first person that's going to know is Octavia Lee. The first person. I'm going to run it by her. I'm going to pray to God. So it's God and Octavia. That's it. Like, I have some friends, I have some colleagues that I'll ask for advice on different things and, things like that. But in general, it's God and Octavia. Like, if I get a good vibe from them, I'm good. That's all I need. So, something to think about. It's something to really think about. Like, do you have someone you can bounce ideas off of? Do you have someone that you can talk to and you can build with? Like, being able to build with somebody, you can't do that in a situationship. You can't do that with somebody where you've got one foot in and one foot out. It just doesn't work. So I tried doing that. I thought it would work, and it didn't. It just didn't. So, anyway, that's part two. Why did I choose to get married? I might have a part three in me too, man. There's a lot of reasons. Like I see a lot of guys online talking about marriage, just dogging marriage, talking about like they would never do it, or ones that did it and got divorced. They're talking about why they would never do it again. I'm seeing a lot of content like that. I think I got like a few more. I may have a few more videos in me on this, on why I chose to get married and why I choose to continue to fight for my marriage as well. So, hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, shoot me a comment. Let me know what resonated with you the most. Like of the different reasons why I chose to get married, what resonated the most with you? And let me know if you have any fear of getting married. Like, is there anything about marriage that you have fear of or concerns about? If you are married, let me know. Just, shout out your spouse. Like, give your spouse a shout out in the comments, man. Let's do something a little different. So, with that said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.